Oh, what is up? What is this?
This is the studio.
This is a real studio? Is this like a real...
Is it Thursday?
Is this made
Where
up?
are we?
Is this made up? Is this...
Perpetual confusion. Where am I?
Different all the time.
I don't
Do you guys
exist
remember
outside of
how
Thursday.
we started this journey of a live stream?
Yes.
It was just like a cell phone,
pretty much.
popped up, it was ridiculous. Like the glow up, I believe, as the kids say, that we've had is something. So
I like it.
Tyler, what are we doing here? Who are we?
We are the Firing Pin. This is the Firing Pin Live. So happy you guys can join us. Clearly, we have stepped up again. Do you want to talk about sponsors? We can start off by the reason things look so great tonight.
Let's talk about who helped us out tonight.
Lumos Media House. They produce high-quality content for businesses. His run-and-gun style really helps him deliver that quality content for their customers. Look at us. It looks great in here, all because of Nick. He set this all up.
Yeah.
He's going to be the guy that's going to be doing a lot of our Freedom Weekend videos, and a lot of our video content is going to be coming from him. So if you guys need video content for anything, I strongly recommend looking into him. I'm going to drop his link into the chat real quick. And then
Excellent.
So thank you, Nick.
Yeah, we love working with our friends and friends of friends and just people in that community. There's nothing better than just having resources available to you, not having to it's so hard to just search and weed through, Google to just find, quality people.
It's good to have a network of people that you can rely on to come through and do something really excellent like this. So good deal. Speaking of excellence, right? We have a lot of excellence. We have our guys, Arms Preservation Inc.
Absolutely.
They're right behind me.
Absolutely.
There with that outstanding metal sign. API, gunbags.com, I believe is the website, right? Ty's going to put it in the chat for us. And they have you covered for ammo can liners, right? For long-term preservation and storage of your ammunition. They have firearms bags for various long guns, shotguns, AR pattern rifles, both a 20-inch and your M4 or your
all
pistol,
the cool stuff,
right?
Yeah.
They have pistol bags that are sized just right for a handgun, and they are locally, they are a local Western New York-based company, so that's what we love about them.
Super cool, super high-end product for not high-end, super good value. Like you are paying a good price for an excellent product, and it's well.
And it feels high end. You pick up the bag and it doesn't feel cheap. And I'm that guy that if I pick something up in a store and if it feels like garbage, I'm probably not going to go with it. It just feels great.
Well, the thing that's told me on it is the Velcro.
Yes.
That stuff is it's on there, right? And
you should bring some over, do some ASMR.
No, that's a terrible noise. I don't think anybody.
Nails on a
anybody's going to be into that.
The only one? Okay.
No, that's not.
Okay, all right.
That's not for our audience, I don't think. But what is for our audience is fitness, right?
Yes.
So
Fitness.
for all your
Beer in
fitness
my belly.
needs, right? Yeah. Beyond Driven Fitness and Performance in Leroy, New York. They have an outstanding facility. Tyler's been there a multitude of times at this point. And so that's excellent. Best gym in Genesee County, I would bet. Maybe even Western New York, probably. I would say, based on all the upgrades that they're doing.
So there's the
and all
Mississippi River,
improvements.
right? And there's one part of the Mississippi and then the other part of the Mississippi.
I haven't been to that many gyms, man. I can't. That would be a bold claim.
But for
me
all
to
the
stand
gyms
here
that are
and make.
sponsors of this live stream, they're our favorite.
100%.
Yeah.
That is accurate.
Yeah, they're the best ones.
They are the best one.
Nobody can.
They
deny
really
it.
are, though. They are like the firing pin of gyms. They are constantly listening to their customers, and they're just improving their setup, like how we are. We constantly try to make things better, and that's what they're about. So, thank you to both of our stream sponsors. So, all right, cool, great live stream. We'll see you guys
Peace out.
later. No, I'm just kidding. What
We
do
have kind of
have?
one more sponsor too.
Do we really? Who?
Our war photographer.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's like assigned to us, isn't he?
Yeah, kind of. So is that a sponsorship if he's assigned to us?
I'm not sure how. What's the group called?
Where do you get this assignment?
I don't know. ARC. How's the ARC? I'm not sure how the ARC is set up, but no, he's a great guy. Yeah, Phil Casper, Phil Casper Photography, right? Is that's the business?
And he's actually here. Do you want
He's
to
here. He's over
come
there.
out and say hi?
Yeah. Sure. You grew that mustache for something, right? Let the people see it.
This is our war photographer.
Oh, yep.
Hitting lights. Sorry.
There we go.
Ooh.
Not used to that there.
Which camera am I on? Two?
It is.
All right.
It is always nice to have someone who knows the product, not just, oh, you can take a cool picture, but like you're a gun guy, you're one of us through and through.
Yeah.
You know the cool shots to take, and yeah, hell of a wedding photographer too.
Yeah, thank you.
Multi-talented.
Nick of Lumos, who you guys mentioned earlier, he actually shot my wedding too. So we kind of dabble in the same
Nice.
fields here, and
Nice.
I'm bringing him into gun culture with us over here, and he'll be part of the full squad one of these days.
Good deal.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Raise them up right, man.
Yeah, right.
Good deal.
Did you guys did you guys mention the full pretty much rebrand with the logo and everything too?
Oh man, I didn't even. No, we didn't. So not
a good
only
plug.
it feels a triple threat, really, and I mean, yeah, pretty good looking too. So let's not even count the ways. But Phil is a designer as well. And I know we said we weren't going to use it. Absolutely.
There it is.
That's-
Oh, that's decent. So
Camera 5
there. Here is our new bumper stickers featuring our new logo, and here's like the logo itself. We teased that a little bit. You'll see that out there, right? And yeah, Phil did that for us. You've done a lot of design work for us. You've done the sign up on the side of the building.
The John Moses Browning one. Yep.
You've got we're gonna have a sign out by the road that you're gonna be working on us or working up for us, and yeah, he's just our go-to guy. And like I said, it's nice to have just a community.
He's done a ton of great photography work for me for First Line Defense, so I always love having Phil, and he's a heck of a good shooter as well. So
It's all thanks to you. I was thinking the other day when like the pandemic first hit, and that's when a lot of us probably first really started dabbling into this world.
getting a little more
serious, and like I had my permit and everything like that, but you don't realize the gravity of and like the responsibility you carry, being a lawful gun owner and concealed carry kind of guy.
I can't get like the way when we're looking at the monitor there. It's like me and Pat are on one team, and then like and we're against you guys. Like, will the red team win more points tonight?
Well,
Find out.
the red team. If it wasn't for Pat, I wouldn't have half the fundamentals for good shooting and
I'd fight Pat.
You'd win too, because I'm an old broken.
He's got the reach.
No, you kick my ass in the gym. Like, I know I wouldn't.
April's watching.
Yeah, April commented you, Brandon.
What?
Your wife said something nice about Brandon's beard.
Aw.
She knows a good. I mean,
It's a nice beard.
she has good taste in beards. What do you want me to do? She's married, not buried. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'll probably hop off here, but gentlemen, it's
always great seeing you, buddy.
Always good
Phil,
seeing you guys too.
thank you, man, for
Absolutely.
everything.
Phil.
Thank you for helping with this stuff, too.
Oh,
That's great. Thanks, Nick, over there in the darkness.
Yeah. You can come out here and eat pizza if you want.
I like how you invited Phil up here, but not Nick. It's okay. It's whatever.
Phil talked about it ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
We'll introduce you.
Yeah.
on the producer camera.
All right, Nick's gonna stay behind the scenes a little bit and say hi.
Do you want to do little camera or big
Oh,
camera?
there he is. There he is. Oh, just a little time.
Yeah, picture in picture.
So, what do we got? Do we have anything like in the works coming up? Do we have any events coming up that we should be plugging?
Oh,
discussing?
let's see.
Sleep.
Let's see.
Oh,
Do we
well,
have
that's
any skirmishes maybe on the 26th of this month coming up?
Nice.
Yeah, we definitely have. We
Yeah.
have a skirmish coming up.
Nice.
We get a link over that to the tactical game skirmish, or I'll drop it in the comments a little bit later on. Got that coming up at Escarpment Arms. That's the table.
It's over here, Mussolini, like pounding it earlier.
I was gonna say something then, and now he's like all in my shit over here. I love it. So yeah, we got the skirmish coming up. That'll be later on this month. It's on a Sunday, last Sunday of the month, and we have the Sunday before that on the 19th. we have another pistol mechanics class here at the Pin.
Nice. You've been crushing those lately.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They've been going really well. People have been really digging that stuff. Training has been kind of taken off. Speaking of, we got to get some more stuff up on the calendar because I noticed that we have through the end of this month, and then it's a wrap. So, and that happened obviously because we had a change of responsibility with the calendar and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah,
there have been some things.
We'll get some stuff on the schedule though, and get people.
People
are
asked.
dying for it.
Yeah, people have asked. So I need to get the calendar updated. But yeah, we got some good stuff coming up, and obviously Freedom Weekend. I know Tyler has a ton of awesome stuff going on with that, and it's going to be bigger and better this year than it's ever been before, it sounds like.
It is not only coming back to a full Freedom Weekend, because there was a couple years there where it was only a one-day event, but no, it's coming back to a full Freedom Weekend. We'll be there the whole weekend.
The whole weekend of freedom.
And it is going to be literally insane. Like, there are so many things. I'm going to drop something right now because it's 99%.
We can drop it. We can. I talked with him today. We're good.
So we have FPC coming.
Wow.
To Freedom Weekend. Like, we have boots on the ground. I can't think of the last time a national gun group came with supporters, not the local chapter, not the regional whatever.
Right.
He's one of the founders of FPC, and they're also bringing one of their top lawyers from FPC, one who has been intimately involved and brought litigation and won against New York State on multiple issues, and is hopefully by June going to have very, very relevant information about cases for New York against Kathy Hochul's ridiculous Concealed Carry Improvement Act and others, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of lawsuits ongoing.
So we're declaring it right now. Freedom Weekend is going to be a Second Amendment rally, which we don't really know what those are in New York, but the last rally that I went to was with the Barrett in Virginia.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a similar type of energy here. We want to see people here supporting the Second Amendment and showing Albany that this is the way that we want the government to govern us, because that's how government works.
We're taxed. We deserve representation.
So we're going to say it right now. Again, FPC, like Firearms Policy Coalition, the people with the hottest memes on Facebook, like they have the best content. I think they're doing some of the best activism work that can be done. They're coming to Freedom Weekend. Like, they're going to be giving speeches. They're going to be breaking out into a town hall style.
We're still figuring Q&A. That out.
Right, yeah. But they will be here. There will be boots on the ground from FPC. So they are going to be our main benefactor. Any type of fundraising efforts that we do, like we're going to have this dunk tank, right? So you're going to pay $5 to try to shoot Cam, into the dunk tank dressed, as, I don't know, your favorite. You do a good G.I. Joe impression, right? Don't you? Or what are you going to do? Like, maybe you could be a Vikings. I don't think people actually like the Vikings around here, do they? Like,
or 3 letters.
I thought Ben was going to be the 3-letter, but he can be a different 3.
Why can't everybody be the 3
absolutely.
letters?
So, Cam dressed up as an ATF agent, maybe, like you can dunk him in the dunk tank, $5 a shot, and it'll all go towards FPC. So they're the main benefactor. I also talked to a little friend of ours, former college athlete Dwayne Whitmer. He was on the stream a couple weekends ago, or a couple weeks ago, right?
He was a great college athlete.
He is personally sponsoring Freedom Weekend, bringing Spike Cohen up here.
Wow.
So not only do we have FPC coming to Freedom Weekend, we have Spike Cohen, like the libertarian hero and mascot. Like, if you want to see some classic holding people accountable, Spike will go on, these Facebook tirades against, say Uvalde, Texas. You might remember how they weren't maybe the best public servants that they could be.
Yes.
He was relentless, and he will let them have it. He is an amazing advocate for the Second Amendment. He's an amazing advocate for small government and just being more personally responsible in your communities and things like that.
And for good police accountability as well.
Absolutely.
He advocates for a lot of libertarian causes and stuff like that.
He's been here before.
Too. Yeah.
He's been here before. He was here for a machine gun shoot and like a fundraiser that he did. When
he taught me how to shoot. I know that.
when Dwayne called him up, it was like, oh, the firing pin? He was already booked for something, and like he's rearranging it, and he's going to come here. Like,
That's so
it's
cool.
going to happen. So again,
cool.
Freedom Weekend is a Second Amendment rally that you are not going to want to miss. And you can participate in the gun culture a lot of different ways, but I think this is going to be something for the record books and something akin I don't want to, we at one point were trying to plan like a Knob Creek of the North type of event. And for those of you that went to Knob Creek, it was more than just the machine gun shoot. It was more than just the military surplus and gun show, right? It was a vibe. It was an atmosphere.
It was the feeling of like the Second Amendment culture.
Yeah, if you're in the industry, you can go to SHOT Show. If you're not in the industry, like if you're not an FFL, you really can't go to SHOT Show. Something like that is like the next best thing, I would say. Like an event like this, it was very similar to the tactical games. What do they call it? The battles, right? Like the main events, like not the skirmishes, but the one you went to at Shooter's Gauntlet.
Yeah, they just call that like a combat.
Like a battle. So like a full, yeah. It was the same type of thing of that. Like here is the community at large, just existing, right? And not to take away from other communities that might truly need this word, but it feels like a safe space, and it feels like, that we can just express ourselves, and this is what, we wish everybody else could see, like when you have the heavy metal concerts with the mosh pit, like there's a perception of that, and then there's reality, and it's about love.
It's
and
love in the pit.
Right. Like somebody might get a black eye, but it's
out of love.
I'm going to hug you after, or whatever, and this Second Amendment rally is going to be the same way. And that's what it's all going to be about. So I am just over the moon excited. I know Tyler is racked with anxiety, but
so much, man.
It's a lot of work.
So excited.
One of the things, because I was just talking with the guy from FPC earlier today, and just one of the things I really hit home is we feel like lost in New York. Mm-hmm. Not that we feel lost, but we feel the industry has abandoned us.
Abandoned.
They've turned their back to us. I said this last time when we talked about how Joe and I went to SHOT Show. We would be talking with people, and I would see their eyes go from my eyes down to my name tag, and they'd see that we were from New York, and the tone would totally change. They didn't want to work with us. They didn't want to talk with us, and that really hurt. It made me feel like my own industry has abandoned me, and I really portrayed that over the phone and email to FPC, and we're not abandoned, and it feels so good knowing that they're willing to come from California to here to let us know that like they have our backs. Mm-hmm. So I want have our back. I don't know. Slide.
Yeah, y'all shifted.
Sorry, we're just getting close.
Well,
we're just excited.
I think it's because we brought Phil in, and then everybody moved a little bit.
There we go.
Very excited. So I'm just very excited for Freedom Weekend, and we're still gonna have the vendors, which is awesome. Come out and support local.
Yeah, nothing is being taken away from Freedom Weekend. We're increasing.
We were having the budget talk, and then 2 days later, we found out FPC's coming, and Brandon's like, "All right,
well,
there's the budget."
We will have food on Saturday. Still to be determined, honestly, but we will have food available on Saturday. Sunday is going to be our food fundraiser. We've partnered up with Chicken Out, which I've promoted quite a bit before. I just, you find a place you like, and it hits home, and then it's like comfort food instantly. And we've been going to them since 2018 or 19. They used to be at the Blossom Road Pub, and they were like a pop-up fried chicken restaurant.
Yes.
And they just make a fantastic hot fried chicken with honey drizzled on it.
It's amazing.
It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So we're gonna do, instead of a chicken barbecue, because everyone does those, we're gonna do a fried chicken dinner giveaway. Not giveaway, but pay $15. You'll get a dinner, and then you'll be entered into a raffle to win a gun or some type of prize, right? So yeah,
dope.
That'll all benefit FPC as well. So that'll be on Sunday. And then check your mailboxes in the next couple of months, because we are going to be starting a new thing where we send out mailers. You get them all the time for tons of other companies, and it's something we've just never tried before, but our friends over at Terzo Printing are going to start printing a bunch of postcards for us.
Brilliant.
And if you are lucky to get a postcard, so there's two ways. You're always going to be able to go on our website and sign up for this, but we're basically going to have a pre-registration. We want to know who's coming. We want to be able to tell FPC, hey, yeah, we're a month out from the event, and we've got 3,000. We've got 4,000 people registered that say they're going to come.
Right.
Because if you pre-register and if you show up, you'll get 2 tickets, 2 entries into our giant giveaway. And again, still TBD, but you know us. We've been giving away guns on the live stream.
Silly,
so
probably,
you can imagine for Freedom Weekend, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I think there's talks of giving away a safe with a mystery gun in it. There's a couple different things we're talking about, right? So
Don't give out too much.
We're gonna have fun with that.
Hold some cards, Brandon. You like
it's a
to
lot of-
get a deck of cards.
Who's
Hey,
watching?
look at my
We got
cards.
we got like 4 people watching, right?
We got like 4 million people
First
watching.
of all,
We
these
got-
are our friends.
Oh, I love them dearly. That's why I want them to know.
If
I want them to get hyped.
If there were 4, they would be the 4 most important people. Mary Ann, and
yes,
April,
April, Anna,
Anna's there, yeah. And Linda's there, and Cam's
and
standing right over there in the
Akira
dark,
somehow
watching
Yeah.
us smoking cigarettes like a weirdo. All right, anyways,
So
stroking
it's
a gun.
last little thing.
Freedom Weekend is going to be ridiculous.
Yes.
Basically, just show up, stay for the bonfire and the heavy metal show by Sadai. Like, just
Just
My
let
favorite.
people know about it too, because if I don't know, this has to be the biggest. We have all these people coming. We have it's already going to be the biggest yet, but I want to make this the best Freedom Weekend
Here's your
yet.
chance to prove that the Second Amendment's not dead, because that's, I mean, you've shared this before. The perception in the rest of the country is that, like, New York may
Sucks.
as well, like, if you care about the Second Amendment, you move out of New York.
Well,
and
see,
that's bullshit.
Yeah, I say that because I talk to people from outside of New York. I've tried to bring in instructors from outside of New York, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Bro, I'm not coming."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not, like,
Same with the tactical games. Like, you'll get athletes that want to come out, but it's like, that just doesn't make sense.
it doesn't.
Like,
they're worried
every
about
other
this
reason it
thing
makes
or that
sense,
thing.
but then,
Yeah.
it's New York. not
Speaking
New
of,
York.
if you guys know anybody that wants to compete in the tactical games that might be from out of state, or just somebody that's thinking about maybe they don't know if the tactical games might be for them. I just want to talk about the skirmish for a minute because you
Sure.
brought it up.
Yeah, yeah.
But the skirmish this year, they've done a little bit of a change to the format, I guess, and it's really more so going to be about teaching this year, and I think that's a really great thing for those of us who are maybe less experienced with some
Sure.
of the
It's intimidating, like,
wearing
I don't want to say you take it for granted, but
wearing
you're,
the gear and stuff. Well, yeah, I mean
But you were in the military, like you know what you're getting into, I guess, with that. But like,
yeah, I found it
like for guys like me and
pretty
Ty,
natural,
that's pretty intimidating. I think. Like,
I think that if you're not intimidated by it, then there's probably some kind of misperception that you're having. Right?
Sure.
Because I've seen a lot of people that think that they're relatively proficient and safe in what they're doing. They just get a little bit gassed out.
Sure.
And they're doing some stuff that they're not familiar with, and they're moving around a lot more with their gun slung than what they're usually doing. And so they just take it for granted that all of their stuff is going to work
sure,
the way that it
Sure.
works when they're standing still on a static range kind of deal.
There's a lot of guys that you can run 5 miles a day jogging, but like you don't do that with your kit or between stages or on the clock.
Correct.
And all those things
Yeah.
we've talked before. Like all those things stack together.
Performance anxiety,
Yep.
you're in front of
Yep.
your peers, there's all this different
They get a
stuff
lot of that,
happening, right?
the performance anxiety.
Dude, for sure, there's pressure, man. Just probably get it.
Oh man,
Especially with all those cameras.
the light, the stage lights. Jesus Christ,
But-
heat. We got the heater blasting. Jesus.
But so, I just wanted to hit on that. For those of you who are like maybe a little bit apprehensive or whatever, this skirmish in March, we're going to have multiple ones throughout the year. I'm really excited about it because it gives me an opportunity to really just get into the weeds on some of the technical aspects of it and pay a little bit more attention to those of you who really want to come out and learn what it's all about.
Also, to assuage any fears, like the community of folks that you typically, because you've got a pretty hardcore group that does most of these skirmishes. When you,
I've had multiple repeats,
Yeah.
that people that drive from like all other states and stuff. It's actually
like
cool.
that community is so welcoming. Like again,
Yes.
former college athlete Dwayne Whitmer will attest to. Like he was similar build to me. Like if I'm a former college athlete, right? Like he
Sure.
is not the fittest guy. He doesn't regularly run. I would say probably at all.
He would
right?
tell you all of that too.
Absolutely,
Like, he's very
and I love him.
self-effacing.
He's watching
and
right now. Absolutely,
we love Dwayne.
But,
He's
like,
awesome.
He's out there, and everyone's cheering him on, and like the community. It's a supportive environment, and like
As it should be.
You might come in last place, but like you're still gonna have as much fun as the guy that came in first place, and you're gonna learn just as much. And like it's
and we always say
wholesome and
at the TTG events, we always say like we want to cheer the loudest for the person who is in last place, right?
It's a competition, but at the same time, like you're all in the same community.
But we're there to learn, and we're
100%.
there to help, and we're there to hopefully, all get better through the experience, right? So that's what it's about, and that's what I'm about.
I'm glad they're
and that's
refocusing
what-
that though, like
For sure,
keeping
no.
that in the forefront. Like
Yeah,
not
I have a
just-
meeting with Jake tomorrow
know.
from TTG, and we're going to get more on the
Very
same
cool.
page about this coming event that we've got going on. And yeah, I'm
which
really
makes sense
stoked
because
about it.
it's a great program, it's a great movement, and the more people that can access it or feel welcome to it. Not that
For
everyone's
sure.
not welcome to it, but just yeah.
That's what the skirmish is for, really.
Yeah.
Is.
Yep. Do we have comments? I feel like we've ignored the
I feel like
audience.
they've definitely been interacting.
Yeah, I'll start with the first. I mean, we're 25 minutes in, and do
Yeah.
you remember what we did for our live stream giveaway?
The loopholes, right?
Yeah, the performance eyewear. Yeah,
Onomatopoeia.
onomatopoeia. Yeah, we had one. So
we gotta really stop banging on the table.
yeah,
I don't-
I'm sorry.
Just
It's
'cause I
such a
don't-
habit.
Just because I say I don't hear you doesn't mean I don't remember the safe word. Like I remember the safe word. I just sometimes I don't hear you.
Daniel Doherty, like the second the stream started, it's like I was caught off guard by it. He didn't spell it correctly. I'll still give it to you.
Was someone shouting it outside when we were? I thought I heard like I thought I heard something.
So Daniel, you come in. I'll message you after this or tomorrow, and we'll come in anytime. And you can pick out a pair. It's that simple. We don't make it difficult.
Speaking of, we don't have like a picture of it or anything, but we got a very cool Loophole Performance Eyewear display, and they are all now nicely on display. You
So
can
you
see
can
them all.
look
and
through
you can-
them.
Yeah, you can pick out, because before they were just in boxes, you couldn't really tell which one was which. But
Yeah.
we put them out there, and my old man even picked out a pair. He was like,
Really?
"They're actually pretty cool." And he was telling me he went to, I don't know, like Macy's or somewhere, and like a regular, I don't know, Coco Bongo, some brand I'd never heard of,
Panama
really.
Jack
Like it
or
wasn't
something,
Ray-Ban. It was it was something. I mean, a name brand, but just one I wasn't familiar with.
Right.
They're like $270 or whatever.
For sure.
And I was like, okay, like the $130 or $40 like loopholes are not that bad in comparison,
Right.
and made in the USA, and they're shooting glasses. Like they're not sunglasses, and we don't call them that because they are performance eyewear. Like they are made to actually protect your eyes, not just from the sun, because they're high-end UV protecting as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And they also are polarized. Well, I don't know if all of them are polarized, but I know that they have polarized options, which I think is great. But they also don't necessarily look like tactical, like
They don't.
military,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the shooting eyewear that's out there looks very specific
Pit
to
Viper,
like a
kinda
military.
almost.
Yeah, well, the pit vipers are kind of cool. They're kind of fun.
I
Like,
like
they
those, yeah.
look like you're ripping around on a dirt bike or doing something
Or like
crazy.
the, like the Smith or the Edge eyewear. Like they have,
Yeah, I
they
love
have a very
the-
specific look.
I love those ones that look a little bit less like
I like
shooting
the-
stuff or like military.
I rock the Katmai from Loophole, the Katmai.
Yep.
Looks like a Ray-Ban, basically, like
Right.
similar style. They've got like that cool like tortoise shell. I like that look.
Wonder if
Like,
Loophole is
that
owned
looks a
by
little
Luxottica.
higher end.
I
What do you
don't
say,
think
bud?
so.
You ever pulled that thread?
Yeah,
the
they're like
Luxottica.
95% of all sunglasses.
Yeah,
and
the
eyewear is
Monopoly.
made by them. Yeah,
It's the son of
Gucci.
no, Brooks brother.
Really?
Yeah, his son owns Luxottica.
That's pretty cool.
So if you didn't catch it, we did the giveaway. We dropped a password that I edited in after last week's live stream.
The magic
And-
hands.
Is that what he picked, or just
No,
That's just a
that's
pair
just
in
an
general?
example.
This is the
Cam, can you grab me that one? And yeah, if you watched Spotify, you got that. So kind of the only way you would have been able to know about
Then I can put
the
this
password
in
is to watch Spotify.
You know
I
how
wanna
fast
learn
you
mine.
were going, Sonny? Can we get these stuff like flash back here? These red and blues? You know how fast you were going, Sonny?
That's
Yeah, these ones are dope. This is the tortoise shell.
I love the cases they come in too.
Yeah. They're nice. They're very nice.
Yeah, I like that they come with a nice little bag. You can protect your lenses.
And like with anything, at first you kind of balk at the price, like, wow, $150 or 100, whatever they are, $125.
It's a 99. For the
Go
most
into
part.
Lens Crafters and see what any other pair of sunglasses costs. Like they're a good value, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Made in the USA.
Yep.
So I like that. I like that a lot.
I'll drink to that. Social.
What else? What else we got?
Quality.
I have another beer over here.
Sorry.
Dead air.
Dead, the deadest of air.
It's all right. It's all right. We are on. Speaking of dead air, this is a podcast now that you can get after the fact. Tyler's been really cool about catching the back catalog up. So I don't know the total time now, but we've got like 10 of these or more.
I think there's like 15.
There's quite a few of these up already, and I did not know if you do this on Spotify. It's the full stream. It's video too. It's
Yeah.
not just audio. Like
Yep.
the whole stream is uploaded. I don't know if that's true for the other platforms.
No,
They
it
might
is.
be
Yep,
audio.
everything.
Oh,
I
cool.
think
So,
90% sure.
Yeah. So Apple Music, right? What are some of the other ones? Can we post all my links?
Yeah, I'll let me pull all of our links.
Tyler came up with the idea of putting a QR code on a run of stickers too. So the first batch we didn't put them on, but the second batch of stickers will have a QR code, and that'll send you to all these, like our YouTube channel, like our Spotify,
Dude, I
Facebook.
love it. We are
any link that we have, it'll be on there.
We are stepping our game up
pretty cool.
all the time.
Pretty cool. While we're waiting for Skippy over here, did you see the barrel we got in?
Yes, I did see the
barrel of ammo.
I
So
did.
freaking cool.
That is cool.
Kevin Bach, coolest
rad.
sales rep that we have. He like hit us up. He was just like, "Hey, I got a barrel, like a 5.56. You want it?" And I was like, "Yep." Then I was like, "Wait, how much is it?" Like it's not. It doesn't matter. But there's like so I know. But I was just like, "Yeah,
if
just
you have
send
to
it."
ask, you can't
Yeah,
afford it.
send it. It showed up today.
I seen it.
14,000 rounds of
Yeah.
5.56. I think the cool thing though is because it's such a bulk amount, they had to list on the side for shipping 57 pounds of gunpowder in there in those 14,000 rounds. Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. It was like 380 pounds, I think, total. Wow. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Cool.
We're gonna sell it by the pound, basically.
It's a handful.
Yeah, like so much. I think it was like 72 cents a round was how we broke it down, basically, or 70 cents a round, something like that. Like, I wish it could be cheaper, but
ammo is so
2023,
expensive.
man.
Yeah, man.
That's the cheapest way you can buy it from here is that way. So that's cheaper than the 20 round boxes.
That's a good way, though.
It's cheaper than the 200 round boxes. So I know we're never going to be. We've never tried to like race to the bottom and be the cheapest price out there.
You really can't do it. Man.
We've got our service. We've got the convenience of being here. So. Hey, we know what we're about.
Yeah, and we're good dudes too. Like the other day, not to toot our own horns too much, but the other day we had some guys out on the range. Just they're shooting, and I'm out there shooting, and Nate was out there shooting. One of our other favorite customers,
Han.
Yeah, and so these three guys are on the end of the range, and I see them, with some rental guns and whatever, and. They're kind of doing their thing, and I just kind of popped over, and I'm watching for a second. I was like, "Hey, man, you mind if I make a little suggestion here?"
Sure.
And we had a quick little chat, and then I went back to what I was doing, and they went out and got some different targets and made a couple of little adjustments, to this and that. And I went over and talked to them a few minutes later, and I was like, "Hey, man, how's it going? Any better?" And they're like, "Yeah, thanks a lot for, whatever." Nice. And then I come out and they're talking to Brian, so I kind of, spent a little bit extra time, like, showing him some stuff.
Right.
And
that's what we're about.
Free information, like, this is a good, I always like to, if I have the opportunity, to just spend a couple of minutes, like, getting people more comfortable just with being here in general and being on the range, and then, they want to come back for some training.
Do you have your own classes coming up anytime soon?
Yes, we have some coming up. Obviously, individual like one-on-ones, and we have small groups. Small group lessons always available. We have some open enrollment classes. Like I said, we'll be updating the calendar momentarily. Hopefully by next week. I want to say by tomorrow, but I can't. So by next week.
Okay. So stay tuned, essentially.
Yeah, definitely check the website, onelinedefense.com, and check the Firing Pin social media and stuff like that, because they always, we always cross-post the events because they host them here. So,
we got any questions?
Yeah.
Let's hit them.
Thoughts on the X5 Legion? I brought it.
Dude, I am sold on the P320 in general.
Cool. I guess.
The P320 is like cheating. I was shooting my VTEC P320 the other day, and it makes me look like I have some semblance of an idea what I'm doing.
It's an amazing design from how the fire control component, like that's the gun. Just genius. Obviously, like hindsight is 2020. I guess like that was. I feel like the eventual trend that was gonna, like that final, I don't want to say final evolution, but kind of like how the AR-15, I mean, when was that introduced? How long ago? 50-some years? And we haven't really been able to, there's been a ton of improvements on it. Right. We haven't really been able to really, break that mold. And I feel like the 320 is maybe, like, that final mold being broken for a handgun until we get to like laser weapons or crazy electricity weapons. Like
I don't know
feel
how much farther you can take
right.
the hand, like just a regular.
And then like you're just going to keep
pistol.
evolving, different slides, different grip angles, different whatever. But like just that concept of here's the gun is the fire control unit, and like we keep moving from there. Like this is almost like the akin to the AR-15 being developed in the '60s, in my opinion. Like you're going to see so much more. I think not every, but a lot of new designs are going to be similar to that and modular in that way.
The craziest thing to me about the P320 is they keep making different versions of the gun, but they're actually making it better in certain ways. Like the new Blackout one. Have you guys seen the new Blackout version with the metal grip frame and the slide and the blacked out finish?
Super cool.
And it's got the comp on the. I mean, it's a sick handgun.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like one of the flattest shooting pistols ever. And the one thing when this gun came out, I remember people were talking about like the bore axis was a little bit high.
Yeah.
Because they thought that was going to be like an issue. Mm-hmm. But it is absolutely not. Like I have no
on par. It's not. I would say it's mean average, right? Like it's right in there
it's
with everybody
definitely
else.
If you just get a regular P320, like just a regular X-frame P320, and you shoot it next to a regular Glock, you're not going to notice any significant difference in muzzle flip or recoil or anything like that. If anything, the SIG is probably a little softer shooting, in my opinion.
Yeah. What else we got?
Because we're talking about the 320, I don't like to go out of order with questions, but because we're talking about the 320, what about them going off on their own and all that stuff you heard from earlier SIGs?
Yeah, so I mean, there was an issue once upon a time where if you took the gun and did a very specific like impact on the back of the slide, you could induce the gun to malfunction. And then SIG did an upgrade to the trigger design. And as far as I know, all of that has been worked out. There were some issues that I saw like fairly recently. I don't know if it was old stuff or if it was new issues cropping up again, but it's another police agency was trying to sue SIG, and the problem with that is like, not that the police don't know how to shoot, but like not all the police know how to shoot, and the holsters that they used aren't always like super conducive to.
I have always felt, again, not to just keep comparing them to the AR-15, but the AR-15 for say 30 years, and it still fights the first year of introduction,
right.
You don't have to clean them or whatever the tropes are, and it had that initial bad rap when it entered service, and it's as amazing of a platform as it is. I think that's, in some people's minds, that's still a black mark on its record.
Yeah, so...
And to me, it's kind of like like enough monkeys and enough typewriters and you'll get Shakespeare, right? And it's like, I think if you dropped enough Glocks, I'm sure they have, maybe it hasn't gotten as much attention, but like they are mechanical devices that if you... Like, the gun doesn't know what's happening to it, right? Like, the gun doesn't understand. If enough things happen where, like a drop safety is a detent with a spring. So, like, if you give that enough inertia to overcome certain forces, like, things can happen. And I'll just say just because a Glock or other guns haven't had that happen doesn't mean that they can't have it happen. And I'm not going to say that the SIG is inherently a bad design or a good design or whatever. I think obviously there were some changes that they made to further prevent that. Did they make the spring tighter maybe, or they made some kind of change? I know that.
Right.
But I don't think the meme of it being like a grenade or whatever. It's not like an Olight. I'm not worried about this.
There are enough of these guns out there.
You sell them, so...
I know, I can't,
There are enough of these guns out there and with enough police agencies, enough of these guns in competition that if it was a real problem, I feel like we would absolutely know at this point, because the use cases are definitely out there.
Right.
And I mean, I've been to SIG Academy like 6 times in 5 years or something like that. Yeah. And every single time I go up there, all of the instructors are up there shooting P320s.
Sure.
I've shot P320s when I go up there. And I have yet to see anything like in this design that's inherently less safe. So it leads me to believe that I think they got the trigger issue resolved, and I think that to your point, like the old stigma may follow the gun for a while, but I do believe that we're out of the woods with that. If anything, if there was a question in your mind, I would say the fix that I would do would be to add an agency trigger, which has a trigger safety built into it. So that way, the trigger shoe can't move on its own.
Yeah, there you go.
So that would be a good.
You have a special little guest right there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite conspiracy, little guy?
What else we got, Ty?
Birds aren't real.
Patrick.
Yo.
Can you talk about the differences between a 10, like pros and cons about 10.5, 12.5?
Yeah,
14
so
pin welded.
I assume that we're talking about AR pattern rifles. I assume that we're talking about 5.56.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna keep it within those specific parameters, right? 10.5-inch gun. If all you're gonna be doing is shooting, say, from bad breath distances out to like almost 400 meters, 350, 400 meters maybe, I would say 10.5 has you covered for sure. I would say if you want to get out a little farther, maybe out to like 5 or so, then a 12.5 would be good. And I would say that with a good optic and the right ammunition and proper barrel twist, a 14-inch gun will take you way out past where I want to shoot, like out to like almost 800 meters. And it's been done. Actually, there are guys who have done 1,000 with a 13.7 and 77 grain ammunition. So, I mean, it can be done.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And that's
so the use
basically
case, I would say, would really
Yep.
determine the barrel length for me, right?
Yep.
If I want a gun that I'm going to use, like, again, in and around my house, let's say, like,
Yeah.
all my problems are relatively local, within 300 yards,
Yeah.
right? Then we're gonna probably go with a 10.5 because it's light and it's small and it's fast and it's great.
Sure.
If I want something that's like almost doing everything that I want an AR to do, I'll probably go 12.5. Honestly, if I'm gonna go to 12.5, I would probably just go 13.7 at that point because I'm more of a 13.7 guy. That's just kind of like, as far as a mid, that was where the 13.7 was the shortest barrel length that I could get with a mid-length gas system.
Sure.
And when I shot a 13.7-inch barrel with a mid-length gas system in a properly gassed rifle, I was like, oh man, that feels good.
It is quite extraordinary the difference that you can get if you just take an off the rack like one of these, like a, you know, what do we got here? This is a Radical RF-15.
So it's going to be a 16,
$5.99,
mid-length
you know.
gas.
Yeah, but you take something like this, which, you know, it's a nice rifle, but compared to something that's been tuned and properly, you know, has the right combination of parts, it's quite a difference.
Yeah,
quite a difference.
That's to me the biggest thing. Like, guys ask me a lot of different stuff about AR pattern rifles and stuff like that. Barrel lengths is a popular question. I love to talk about barrel lengths because, you know,
We all like to talk about length.
It can get, I like to talk about length. I got nothing. That was a good one. Good job.
That was good, yeah.
So, but then, you know,
Write that down. What time is it?
for me, the biggest thing that can make a difference in the way that I can shoot a gun is what I'm doing with the gas and what I'm doing with the buffer spring and what I'm doing with the weight of the buffer. So for you guys that are shooting like carbine length gas, if you don't want to spend, or if you can't find like an A5 system to put on your, like a Viltor or BCM A5 system to put on your gun, get a JP Rifles silent captured spring, and you can play with the different, get the whole kit and play with the different spring weights that you can put in that thing. Or if you just want to go the cheap route and you got a carbine length gas gun that's running like 14.5 or even a 12-inch barrel, get a Springco blue spring, and it costs like $25.
Sure.
And it will change your life.
Yeah, a lot of this, like, you don't have to complicate, I guess, things to that, you know,
Don't
that
overthink
degree.
it for sure.
Yeah. But it is tough. We had a guy in here tonight that was asking about, like, what's the difference between an H2 and an H3 buffer? like, well, wait.
like-
And he's like, well, why would you use one versus the other? And it's like, well, you can't just answer the one question, kind of. You have to answer, it's the entire thing. So it is hard to just, like, well, what twist rate should I use? It's like, well, you can't just really, I need more information. We need to go through. You almost need
What are you doing?
Yes, you're doing this. If yes, go this way on the chart. And, like, if no, go this way. And then, okay, are you doing this? If this, go there. Like, you need one of those, like, flow chart tree things, whatever.
Well, Mike Mahalski did this really cool video about, like, operational envelope. And he was talking about, like, ejection patterns and what starts to happen to guns when, you know what I mean? Like, if your gun is ejecting at 2 o'clock under these conditions, then the more you shoot, the hotter your gun gets, or the dirtier your gun gets, or, you know what I mean? All of those things start to change. Or if your gas rings get worn, then you're in a different part of the operational envelope.
Sure,
so now your carrier speed changes a little bit.
There's a lot.
So
it's a lot like when you see someone shooting, you can, like, see what they're doing and see the target and tell them, like, you're holding too tight with your pinky or just, like, whatever. Like, you can specifically, it's the same, someone who really knows. That's what I would consider, like, an armorer level or, like, gunsmith level of knowledge on the AR-15, because anybody can slap parts together. Like, that's meaningless. But yeah, someone who can I can see how your rifle ejected and tell you it's too much gas or there's not enough gas.
Just watching, like, carrier speed or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
That's
there's
impressive.
there's different cues that you can kind of pick up on that will tell you, like, oh shit, that bolt is cycling way too violently, right? Like, we got to slow that thing down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Brett has talked about your hat several times tonight. That's all he can talk about.
My
he
hat?
asks,
Yes, your hat.
why are you wearing a drill hat like you're Amish?
Why am I wearing a drill hat? Well, because I'm not a drill instructor, and I guess I just took this as a, like, quasi-military surplus hat, and I grabbed it and threw it on my head like a salty doughboy.
I like
This
it.
was kind of my,
It's a
the jauntier the angle.
it's a jaunty
the cooler,
hat,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I wore it because I am heading down to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania soon to pick up some stuff from Gov Planet. And we experimented with I guess one SKU of some night vision pouches that I bought actually quite a while ago. And we kind of shoved them in the far corner of the store. Well, I bought, like, a thing of, like, I can't remember, it was like 80 of them maybe. And the other day I noticed, like, wow, that the box is finally gone. And there's, like, maybe 5 or 10 of them left, whatever it was. I was like, wow, we sold through those. So knowing that Freedom Weekend is coming and that, like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for military surplus stuff. I always have been since I was a little kid. And I looked up, like, Iron Mike's is gone in Canandaigua,
Right.
and there's one place it looks like left out in Buffalo, and there really doesn't seem to be a military surplus store anywhere that I'm familiar with in, like, the Glow or Rochester region.
Right.
So I figured, hey, like, there's got to be other dumb 12-year-olds that want it. Cam's over there waving his hand. So
Sure.
I bought a few lots, a bunch of, like, pouches, a bunch of one lot is like 800 different items, and it's like, like 100 grenade pouches and 100
Sweet.
like double triple mag pouches and, like, just like a bunch of different stuff. And I also bought I couldn't help myself. We are now the owners of 4,700 copies of Warfighting by the United States Marine Corps.
I love it.
So yeah, it's a cool little pamphlet. I mean, I don't,
What's the year on that FM?
It's a current production. I don't know if it's the latest version, but it's not.
Well, wait, is it FM or is it a training circular or is it a?
It's a white. I'll show it to you. It's like a white pamphlet.
I want to check it out.
It says Warfighting by USMC.
I love it.
They go for like $7 or $8 on Amazon plus shipping, and we're gonna sell them here for like $2. So
Sweet.
we have a lot of them. Don't be surprised over the next few years if when you buy a gun you get a random book in the
random
box.
FM.
Like,
Here, go learn about small unit
stupidest,
tactics.
yeah. Like, I don't know. LaRue, I love LaRue Tactical because, like, you'll order like an MBT, you'll spend like $80-$90 from them,
Send
and
you
you'll get
some
like
Dillo
30 or
dust
40
or
bucks
something.
worth of, they send like their spice rub, they'll send you like this armadillo bottle opener thing, like,
that thing is cool.
They send you like 3 pocket constitutions, like, and like 40 stickers, like.
Good old ML.
Sons of Liberty
it.
Gunworks, I've heard it every once in a while drop some random like
That's
shit
cool.
in there too.
We need to start
like a
doing
little
that.
note from
Yeah.
Mike or whatever.
We need
but-
to start doing that.
Yeah.
We kind of do. Like, we'll give stickers and
That is
stuff
true.
out. We regularly.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best when you order.
That's
gun
my
parts
favorite
and you
thing
get
too. Like
stickers.
when someone comes up to the counter and like they've been in the store for a while and maybe you helped them out or whatever, and it's like you could tell they really wanted to buy something, but it wasn't today. So they're like, let me get a couple stickers at least, so they can feel good about it, and they'll come up with like their 3 or 4 stickers, and I'm like,
Bro,
no,
them,
like I'm not going to
please.
charge you for them. Like, dude, are you serious? And it's like, bro, shut up.
We got you through the door, and now next time you're gonna be.
Like, you're gonna put that on something, right? That's what I always tell them.
Thank
like,
you for driving here.
Like, you're not just gonna put that in a drawer. Like, you're gonna put that on your truck. You're gonna put it somewhere someone's gonna see it.
You
like,
came and hung out for a few minutes. You'll come back again. You'll tell your friend. But it's cool. Yeah.
And plus, I love seeing our stickers in the wild, man.
For sure.
I love it.
I still see the classic, like the I Heart New York style one.
I see the
Air
little
15.
I see that
TFP,
one with the little TFP guy.
Can't wait to see these
I
new
love that.
guys in the wilds.
That'll be so cool. Yeah,
I have to.
Can't wait to see them at my favorite local truck stop.
I just almost stopped the stream.
What?
I just almost stopped the stream.
Just cut and just turn it off.
All ties
Do you have any
favorite
other
goalie
questions?
Yeah, we've got a few things.
Nice.
Nice.
I love questions.
It's getting closer to March 20th. How are we feeling about lawsuits that are being challenged in the Second Circuit?
I'll be honest. I need to do.
I don't want to talk about that. Yeah.
More like I need to sit down and really
Agreed.
like. I'm not a lawyer. I almost feel like at this point we almost need to hire like a paralegal or someone who like can research the cases and like who can. I don't have the time. I don't have the knowledge to do that kind of stuff. But I would love to maybe partner up and do some more. Like grassroots advocacy. Like we need to. We like to think we're leading the front, but we really need to be like leading that fight. So
Well, we are in some aspects. Like,
yeah, that's a good
donating to
question. Though.
FPC and stuff.
I want to do better though.
I'm not. I'm not like a legal eagle.
I know we can do more.
I care about these issues, but I'm
not something you
not
can just
fighting
wing.
that fight, right?
And-
So like, I just kind of let the people that are fighting that fight do what they
Right.
do, and I try to contribute where I can and give them money and make sure that they know that we care about what they're
no enough to be dangerous, but we also don't want to be in CNN and just start
Yeah.
spitting our own opinions.
Again, just to direct you to
Lying.
FPC, like Firearms Policy Coalition, they are fighting the good fight. I mean, they post a lot of stuff, but if you search, for specifically New York stuff, they're constantly, bringing lawsuits against the state. So I know they're looking for plaintiffs that can help, strengthen their case, like maybe someone who's struggling to get their pistol permit right now, or I know they're trying to fight the 18 to 21 waiting period thing that the feds have done. So Cam, you're what, like 19, right? Still, like you could you could call them up,
I look like I am.
What else we got over there?
Do we have? Do you ever envision having an outdoor range at our current location?
Oh man. So yesterday, you don't even know this, Pat. So yesterday, I went to meet with Klaus, who is the gentleman that we bought the original land from, and he owns 30 or 40 acres of all the surrounding. He owns Pavilion Gift land. He owns all this, right? So I went to him yesterday asking, because we know Freedom Weekend is going to be literally insane this year. My big anxiety is parking and like pedestrian safety. Like I'm just really worried about it. So I was like, Klaus, could we take like, if you look on the property maps, like TFP has this little like parallelogram shape of land. I was like, can we just take that and push it back to the woods? Like keep our north and south boundary lines, but just push it back to the woods. Looks like it'll be about 2 acres. We already we own this, but we lease a little bit of extra land from him, like where the vendors usually are out there, right? Sure. And I was like, could we do something like that? And he was just like, I'm at that point. I don't really feel like leasing stuff anymore. I'm more into selling stuff. And I was like, well, if that's the case, like if we're talking about selling stuff, would you sell me another maybe like 8 acres? So TFP has gone from 2, and obviously the ink isn't dry yet, or the ink doesn't even exist yet. We're men that when we shake our hands and a deal is done, like the deal is done. So we will soon, I don't know if it'll be by Freedom Weekend, but we will soon go from owning 2 acres here to 10. And the expressed intent of that is 1, more parking, right? And I would really like to work with the town of Bergen and find a way to do, I'm going to call it a hybrid range, where you're going to likely be shooting from some type of covered position, and the impacts will also be impacting like a manufactured berm of some kind with baffles in between. So again, it won't be just like an outdoor
like a blue
range.
sky range.
Yes, yeah. So it's not going to be like, say, Rochester Brooks or kind of like Polar Wave, which is like open bays, but it won't be indoors either completely. So it'll be a hybrid, and I'd like to really experiment with a couple different. We're going to have the room. Like, I don't want to promise things that I can't deliver, but I want something that doesn't exist around here in terms of distance. I'll put it that way. So we tried to do something at Polar Wave. That didn't work out. I think with the land that we've acquired now, we could, again, using a hybrid style of range where the shooter's indoor and maybe the impact of the bullets is out. You know what I mean? My big concern is noise abatement, basically. Like, I just want to maintain being a good neighbor with the village of Bergen. So,
Right.
But yeah, stay tuned, folks. Like, there's a lot of possibilities in the works. And, again, I did it because the land is all for sale. And I was always nervous about somebody else coming in. Right. I was nervous about somebody else coming in and buying up, and putting up, say, another Liberty Pumps next to us. And now we are stuck in our 2 acres and we never have room to expand. So it was one of those perfect opportunities. It was not what I was expecting to go in. I'll be honest, I'm blessed that he's willing to work with us and kind of be the banker, so to speak. So
Yeah.
I don't have to come up, I just bought a barrel of 5.56. I was like, I'm a little cash poor today, Klaus.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he's an inspiration. I wish I'd had the chance to spend more time with him. He is a German immigrant. He was born and raised in Germany up until a certain point. Moved over here and just has a incredible business story and history. And I don't know if he would, but man, I would love to get him to come on and do a live stream. Like, he's a gun guy. Like he when I met him, he was already in his he's in his 80s now. He was in his 70s, and like I met him in his office, and he has this crazy like Dexter's Lab like workshop where he had like a robotic worker like arm where he's trying to do something and he'll have like a robot like help him with it, and he was like, it was like a Tony Stark type of like scenario.
That's wild as fuck.
He had like a drone that he had built like before you could buy them, and like he's a really cool guy. So
That's interesting.
but anyways, TFP will have some more opportunities very, very soon.
This is why I love the live stream, because like
you got a couple beers in me, and I just started talking.
You guys are the first to hear this. That hasn't really been made public.
We don't drop this in the first 5 minutes of the live stream. You gotta
stay and like.
Yeah, you
gotta give us a couple beers.
Gotta wait for Uncle Brandon to have a couple beers.
Let's look good, boys. Let's give away some stuff. Come on now. Who wants me to take my top off? No one wants that. Can we go back?
That's a raffle ticket.
Do we have like a dump? Do we have a dump button? Can we go back 15 seconds? Can we?
Can we show some guns? Yeah, let's talk about some
Let's change the
guns.
subject.
Yeah, let's
On that note,
I tried to bring some different stuff out. I feel like we haven't. I just
talked
feel like
about
we brought
Mossberg 590s.
I feel like we brought out the same stuff time and time again, but
time after
So
time.
Mossberg 590 A1 bayonet lug, really nice front blade sight there, ghost ring rear. These are both XS sight systems, which I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Have always enjoyed the Mossberg tang mounted
Same.
safety. 8-round mag tube on this guy, right? And it's got the that's not even a Magpul stock, so I'm.
And I don't think it's a speed feed either. We were trying to think of. I think that company may have gone under, and now the patent is just like anybody can make that.
Right.
And now they do, so there's no point to have that company.
Right.
Those were expensive too when they were around. That was like a $300 part. I want to say.
It has a stock that allows you to retain shells on the gun.
Is it two?
So two,
Or
one on either
Yeah.
side. Because I don't think.
I don't think you can fit another one.
No, they don't go down.
The whole point of a shotgun is to keep it fed. And
Or no, they do go. They do actually go down inside. They'll go way down in there. So you
fit two on each side?
Yeah, two on each side.
cool.
So four. Yeah. So 4 total in the stock, which gives you 13 on the gun, which is pretty impressive.
And then, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could. I guess I've never seen when someone put a light up here, but you could put one of those Mesa tactical side saddles on.
That's probably what I would do.
Yep.
I was thinking about. I always think about a bandolier style thing, and then I'm like, that's just too heavy
weighs
with the
40
ammo,
pounds, yeah.
and it's stupid. Like that's one of the reasons I don't like shotguns is because ammunition management just gets too crazy. So $700 for this one, which I think is an outstanding deal.
Really is for
Or
$5.90.
if you want to trade Arizona cans, I guess we're into that kind of thing.
For legal reasons, it's in Arizona.
For legal
Facebook
reasons.
legal reasons.
Ooh, so this is. Everybody always wants a coach gun. Mm-hmm. They're usually asking about the Stoger one. This one is obviously way prettier than the Stoger ones,
Right.
being a CZ. But this is what is referred to as a coach gun. So this is the shortest barrel length legal, which is 18 and a quarter on a shotgun.
It's what Joe Biden uses for home defense.
Just fire one in the air,
And then you have
you'd
one
be
to
good go.
stop a threat. Yep.
So this one is $1,100, and man, it is pretty. I don't know how well can we.
They're very nice.
So
Yeah,
can we
I don't
do
know.
camera 5 here? Maybe we can see the case hardening on the receiver here.
Not great. Yeah, we're gonna have to.
That
switch
light kind of
camera
blows
up.
for that. Yeah.
I have to get a better close-up cam. We'll have to do an overhead. Like that's
Yeah.
what we wanted to do. It'd be a nice overhead. That'd be mint.
You'll have to take my word on the case hardening on the receiver side plates here.
Very nice.
But yeah, it is really clean. The bluing is absolutely fantastic.
Just one of those guns, like practicality factor, 1 out of 10, but coolness factor, 10 out of 10. Like you want to watch a Western movie holding that like on the couch. Like they're just cool. Like
If you don't own one, I don't know why you're into guns.
Yeah,
right.
that,
Like you want your daughter to go on a date and sit on the front porch, like waiting for them to come home when you have that.
Just
like,
cleaning it.
remember
just a
remember Billy Bob Thornton in Tombstone when he was walking down the street with his shotgun? Doc Holliday was like, Johnny Tyler, where you going with that shotgun? Took it from him.
such a good movie.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. So here we have a Remington model 783. Now the 783 was basically designed for Remington fans who didn't want to pay Remington 700 monies.
Same basic design, a little
Very
simplified,
similar.
like-
They just kind of dumbed it down ever so slightly, but it's still got the tubular style receiver. I think it's still got the same basic two-lug bolt, design. It is push feed. It's still got the same safety here as your 700. This one does come with a 2-piece scope mount. It is a 243.
Is this a Ilion production? I know it's a first model.
It is LaGrange, Georgia, in
Okay.
fact.
So-
First production run proudly made in LaGrange.
And it says that,
Georgia.
doesn't it?
It
on the
does,
gun?
yep.
Yeah. So Remington obviously has had some ups and downs, like a lot of American companies have had, a lot of American gun companies, and they have been bought and sold several times now. They were owned by a management group, the Freedom Group, who one of the worst things about capitalism are those groups that buy up companies to temporarily increase profits for the shareholders, and then they just dump all the assets and they make a bunch of money for the executives. But that's unfortunately what happened to Remington, and they've kind of been like gutted and split up. The name still exists, but like the Remington ammunition, that's owned by Vista. And I saw an interview the other day that they did, and it was like, yeah, this is like a once in a multi-generational opportunity to buy basically a complete ammunition mega factory. I mean, that Remington factory, I think in Alabama, I want to say, like it was somewhere not, the ammo factory was not in New York.
I think that's right.
They had like a shot tower, which if you're not familiar with how they make birdshot and buckshot and different shot sizes, they literally drop molten lead from like 150 feet up, and then as they fall, they change the height and they can adjust things to make them different sizes.
That's wild.
That's how they make it. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So they make every part of it. I mean, they take raw copper and lead and in one side of the building, and bullets come out the other. Like they are a true factory. So yeah, Vista was like, you don't buy those. Like those don't come up for sale. So that they could buy a complete factory and the brand and the line. It's amazing, and to be owned again by gun people.
Right.
I think is great. It's great for Remington's future. I think you're going to see
Probably good for us as a community.
Absolutely.
As well,
100%.
ammunition
100%.
Production, right?
Literally amazing for the community. Remington Firearms, one of you guys can correct me. I don't 100% remember how the chips fell on that of who owns Remington Firearms now. They are still making firearms in Ilion. I know that was a lot of the legacy production of like the 870s and the 700s and some of their older firearms. And I'll have to dig up the 2 pictures that I snuck. Excuse me, I took a tour of the... That's bad audio. I took a tour of the Remington factory back in, like, 2011 or 12, I want to say.
Right.
And it was a very interesting, like, these are the machines that have been making 870s.
Yeah.
Like, all of them have come across these machines, and it's, like, the old-school style of, like, you know, if you have a CNC machine that does 20 operations or 50 operations, those 50 operations are displayed in 50 machines. And there's one dude who, like the radius on this shoulder, that's all he does.
Right.
And he does 1,000 a day, and that's his life. Like, and then there's another guy who, like, does the other side. And, like, that's all they do. And that's how those guns are made, which, there's a very cool documentary that Remington did in the 60s and 70s, and it shows you, like, in detail how all those are done, and nothing has changed. All those guns are still made the same way.
That's wild.
Which is very cool, yeah.
Let's see what other guns we have up here. So we already talked for a second about the Radical RF-15. We do still sell RF-15, we do still sell AR pattern rifles, to include the RF-15. This particular one has the B5 SOP mod style stock. It has a mil-spec charging handle, B5 systems on the grip. It's got the black nitride bolt carrier group, which is fine, good to go. It's got a nice 15-inch handguard and comes with a 10-round magazine.
You get a hell of a lot of gun these days for $5.99. Like, I remember,
that's ridiculous.
Say like 5 years ago, for $5.99 or even $6.99, like, you were gonna get an A2 style with like an A2 style front sight. You were going to get like a cheapo M4 stock. Like, it was going to be cheap. And now a cheap basic rifle comes, I don't want to say built, but kind of like how you would want to. Yeah, like, you add your accessories and you're good to go. Like, these are cool. There's a huge cult following.
Keep going.
It does? Okay.
Huge cult following for these guys. Whenever we get these in, like I'm
Charles Manson level.
I'm surprised we still have this one. Like,
stab you in your sleep.
They're just an iconic. There's something about these. It's like the lever action and revolver that are paired together in the same caliber. There's just something about these. That
22 410
I can't explain it. I love it. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure.
Everybody likes them. They are very popular. 22 and 410 are. First of all, they're both good survival calibers, right? Like, realistically, if I had to hunt for food, 22 ammunition would be cheap and plentiful, and it'd be good. 410, same. I could shoot small stuff. I mean, I couldn't shoot a lot of big stuff, but
that's a good topic for another day. Like, just survival. Like, 22. If it's just you and like a couple kids, like,
if you
surviving,
had to have,
like 22, like, you don't need to kill a deer. That's just so wasteful.
We should talk about, like, if you had. We should do like a show where it's like, hey, pick like 3 guns. Like, you can only have 3.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? Like, that'd be a fun show. If you guys want to see something like that,
let us know.
Let us know, because we would love to do.
That would be a very fun topic.
Cool stuff that's kind of driven by you peeps. All right. So last but not least, is this a Darkstorm Industries? Jesus
it is.
Christ, are they still making guns?
Darkstorm, they're from New York City, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't.
They're
like
Long
us.
Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get mad at us.
Why? At us specifically?
Yeah. Because we transferred them a gun that we made compliant, and it wasn't essentially their gun that they made compliant, so they got like mad at us, and they're okay. I don't want to knock it. I want to stay professional, but they have a policy that I don't really like. If you send them a gun that is not compliant, they send it straight to the police.
What?
They don't make guns compliant there. They'll just all right. This is going to NYPD.
Well, okay, so I don't want to defend anybody that is not like a 2A absolutist, but I'm going to for one second, because they did get raided by the ATF.
Did they?
Yeah, it was a while ago. I don't remember the whole story, but if you got... No, I'm sorry. It was New York State Police. I do remember now. They were in the beginning of the SAFE Act, and they were making guns compliant, and allegedly some guns got transferred out of there that weren't compliant, and so New York State Police went up in there, and so then...
Made an example.
Then Darkstorm Industries started making guns that had no fucking magazine releases and fixed magazines, and they still do guns like this as well, but, like, they really... had to, like, we are Second Amendment pro 2A guys, but they've actually had to, like, face prosecution, come out the other side. And
it is tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come down too hard on them, because honestly, like, that might be something to do with a deal that they made.
I hear that. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for
So-
setting that.
Yeah, no, like, I'm no apologist for anybody that's not a Second Amendment lover, but at the same time, like, Darkstorm Norm is a cute
You got
guy,
to stay
so-
open.
Yeah, and we do want them to stay in business. And Kevin, who I met from Darkstorm, seems like a pretty decent, well-intentioned dude. So I don't want to just I don't want to leave you guys with a false impression. So look it up.
Thank you.
You guys can research it for yourselves. But yeah, they were raided by New York State Police a long time ago, and that probably has something to do with their stuff. But just don't get them in trouble.
I appreciate you for setting that straight, Pat.
Yeah, no worries.
Nice.
I hope they would do the same if somebody was mad at us about something.
And I wasn't trying to talk smack.
No,
like,
you
I tried
tried
to stay
not
professional.
to. In fact. No, absolutely. No, that was good. We never want to badmouth other,
gun stores, gun
other
stops. Yeah.
good gun people. Absolutely.
But we as civilians should be able to own recreational nukes and change my mind.
If the government can have them,
Andrew came in last weekend. I don't want to completely dox him, because we're on Spotify and so many other platforms. But he came in and he met Brandon last weekend and had a really great experience. He said it wasn't his first time at the pin, but meeting you it was his first time meeting you, and he really thanks you for your help. And it just sounds like you gave him that 5-star quality.
It has been fun.
This is him. I pulled up his profile.
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen him around.
We, you open a business. When I first opened this place, I was here. If the firing pin was open, I was here, right? And you can do that for a while when you're single and, you don't have a life, really. And that's what you have to do when you start a place like this.
When you're building a business, for sure.
You got to give it your all. And then you hire the right people. And you give them more responsibility, and you trust them, and you guide them, and you lead them, or whatever. And there was a point where I probably was here not enough. You know what I mean? That the pendulum swings too far, and not that anything ever bad happened. I don't want to make it sound like that, but I would come in and people would be like, "Oh yeah, where you been?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't like that. Like I need to be here." So. And I had a kid in there. I've got 2 kids. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's but I very much enjoy. We have opened on Sundays. We've talked about that a bunch, but we haven't mentioned that this stream. And if you looked us up on Google, you wouldn't have known it because we forgot to change our Google hours. No. And then Tyler texted me at 6 o'clock last Sunday. He's like, "Hey, how was the day?" And I was like, "Well, we did it was a low day for us, but decent but low." And I was like, "But good considering Google said we were closed, and I never turned the open sign on."
Right.
So I was off the whole day.
Probably could have done even better.
Yeah, we could have tried a little harder, but we got to carve some DMs, right? And so I am the manager on duty on Sundays right now. And I really like it. I like connecting again back with the customers. And
Feels good to work the counter.
It does. It does feel good. It's obviously it's tiring. It's retail.
Yeah.
We're humans.
Acting all day is hard.
It is. It is sometimes. Some customers are more difficult than others, and it's hard to.
I love you all.
Days are just more.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
tough. We're all, we're humans.
You stub your toe in the morning out of bed, and then you still have to. You can't.
Yep.
You can't let the customer know that.
Right.
You have to put on that same smile.
We're talking about guns, but a guy comes in and he's got "Hey, I got 4 guns. I'm going to transfer to my buddy. We're from Monroe County." It's bro, I have there's just so many forms I got to fill out.
I have no patience for what you're talking about right now.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Or you're talking with a customer and they're like, "So I have this gun," and they're pointing it right at your face.
But no, I very much enjoy, and you got to stay sharp. I mean, there were definitely times when I would come in and somebody would ask me for something and be like, what the fuck did you just ask me about? And it's like, everybody else knew what they were, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's the new Hollow Sun, whatever. And it's like, oh, like...
Oh, you definitely got to stay on your...
You don't want to get out of touch? Yeah, so...
It's easy to get out of touch because
you gotta do the research.
It moves fast.
Yeah, yep. So I'm glad to stay sharp, and I'm here on Sundays for a while.
That's like my least favorite thing is when I used to work the gun counter and somebody would come in and they would ask me about something that like I didn't necessarily know about. Like some, Vortex just came out with some weird ass optic.
Like, oh, Browning's new shotgun. Like you're not a, like.
Are you
Browning's Super Black Eagle too, or whatever?
Oh yeah. Or like somebody's making a receiver set in some very specific camouflage pattern.
Yeah.
Or like some billet, whatever the fuck.
And there's a lot. I mean, this is a big industry. There's a lot to it. You're not gonna catch everything.
You can't. Yeah, if you know everything, then you don't know.
No.
You don't have a life.
I just thought of something.
You know what I mean?
We're getting short on time.
Let's do it.
But
short on whose time? What
should
time?
we talk about those?
Should we?
Should we give a little hint?
Are we?
All right.
What were you?
I'm gonna give a little hint.
Go ahead.
So, speaking of Freedom Weekend, we were talking about that earlier. One little thing that I'm only gonna share with you guys. So, getting real close to the mic.
On the internet.
Yeah, millions of viewers. We're going to do an exclusive Freedom Weekend only product that's going to be gorgeous, and there's going to be a very limited run of them.
Oh my god.
That's all I'm going to say. I will, when I get mock-ups of it, because I'm talking with the company to do it. When I get mock-ups of it and we're able to get one, when we're able to make one, I will show you guys a picture on stream. I promise. But you guys are going to be able to see it first. I'm going to leave you on that. I'm sorry. That's horrible, but
we gotta go because now I gotta talk to Ty offline because I gotta find out some more details.
Hold on.
First of all, so we don't have any more guns to show right now.
We don't have any more guns to show.
We don't have any more sponsors to talk about.
We told so many secrets tonight.
Pat, don't read it out loud.
We have no more.
That we weren't supposed to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
What I was gonna.
Did we have any last minute questions we should hit?
That was it.
Before we close
I don't
out?
really have anything.
Right.
I just wanted to leave them on that.
Little tease. I like it.
Very good.
Very old school. That's kind of what I was going for. Like, how do these new mics sound when I get real close and talk like this? Does it sound like you're listening to, this is TFP Live. We're coming at you live. I love these new mics. I really appreciate the guys for coming in and doing this. It looks amazing in here.
When you know what you're talking about, it shows. And these guys knew what to do to make us look the part. And we're trying to put on a professional show for everybody, and we're trying to put out a quality
for you
video.
guys. We love you guys. We want to be the best we can be for you guys.
It's a lot of fun.
And other than that, guys, just to help us out, give us some shares, some likes, some comments, tell a friend about us.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions for the stream throughout the week, you can ask them via chat, I would think.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what we should do? Can we make a live stream Facebook page and then they can just go right to the TFP live stream page?
So I've been thinking about that because Facebook has their hand around us so much, like advertising. The only issue we're going to have is Facebook is going to know the link between the Firing Pin Live and the Firing Pin. Yeah. So I want to make like a group or a page for the Firing Pin Live
like the
and
have that
almost,
kind of, and then we can run ads or stuff like that. That's a goal of mine, but
that makes sense. Okay, well, maybe you guys can just go to the TFP Facebook page and communicate with us there. Let them know that you have a question for the stream, and they'll write us a note, or Tyler will find it, and we will get it.
Put a note in the complaint box.
Yeah, pull that pin. All right, guys, stay beautiful. Thank you so much for checking in with us.
Bye.
I love you all.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great rest of your day.
June 10th and 11th.
Don't miss it.